Every year, millions of people over 60 experience mysterious mood crashes that seem to come out of nowhere, leaving them feeling down, anxious, or just not like themselves. But these aren't random events. There are 4 hidden vulnerabilities in your aging body that make mood crashes almost inevitable, especially as seasons change. If you've ever felt your mood suddenly shift for no apparent reason, if you've noticed that things that used to barely affect you now seem overwhelming, or if you've wondered why your emotional resilience isn't what it used to be, then this video could help you understand what's happening and how to protect your mental well-being. Here's what most people don't realize. After 60, your body's mood-supporting systems become more fragile in ways that aren't obvious until something goes wrong. The changes happen gradually, so you might not connect them to your mood shifts. But once you understand these 4 vulnerabilities, you can strengthen them before they cause problems. In the next 19 minutes, I'll reveal the 4 hidden reasons your mood becomes more vulnerable after 60, and exactly how to support your natural mood stability. These aren't complex medical treatments. They're simple adjustments that work with your body's changing needs. And most importantly, I'll tell you about the one vulnerability that affects everything else, but is completely overlooked by most people. A change in your body's internal timing that can throw off your entire emotional balance. But before we start, if you're here because you want to understand and support your mood stability instead of just accepting that mood swings are part of aging, you're already taking the right approach. Quick legal note: this is educational content only, not medical advice. If you're experiencing persistent mood changes or thoughts of self-harm, please contact your healthcare provider immediately. Always consult your doctor before making significant changes to your wellness routine. You'll find the complete disclaimer in the description below. Now let's explore these hidden mood vulnerabilities. Let's start with the most fundamental change that affects mood after 60. But it's so gradual that most people never notice it happening. Your brain's ability to produce serotonin, often called your body's natural happiness chemical, naturally slows down as you age. Here's what's happening in your brain that you can't see or feel directly. After age 60, your brain produces about 30 to 40% less serotonin than it did in your younger years. Serotonin isn't just about feeling happy. It regulates mood stability, sleep quality, appetite, and your overall sense of well-being. But here's what makes this particularly challenging as seasons change. Your serotonin production is directly influenced by sunlight exposure. During summer, longer days help maintain adequate serotonin levels despite your aging brain's reduced capacity. But as daylight decreases, you're hit with a double challenge: less light stimulation plus an already reduced serotonin production system. This creates what I call the happiness deficit. Your brain is working harder to maintain the same mood stability you used to take for granted. Small stresses that barely registered in your 40s now feel overwhelming. Changes in routine that you used to adapt to easily now feel disruptive and unsettling. The signs of reduced serotonin production are often mistaken for other issues. You might feel more irritable over small things. Your sleep becomes less restful even if you're getting enough hours. You might lose interest in activities you usually enjoy. Food cravings, especially for carbohydrates and sweets, increase as your brain seeks quick ways to boost serotonin. But here's the encouraging news. While you can't stop the natural aging of your serotonin system, you can significantly support its function with targeted approaches that work specifically with your body's changing needs. The solution starts with understanding that your brain now needs more intentional support to maintain the serotonin levels that keep your mood stable. This isn't about accepting decline. It's about adapting your approach to support your brain's evolving needs. Simple strategies like strategic light exposure, specific nutrients that support serotonin production, and activities that naturally boost serotonin can help maintain the mood stability you're used to. The key is being proactive rather than waiting until you notice problems. This serotonin slowdown often works together with the second vulnerability to create the perfect storm for mood challenges. The second vulnerability creates a cascade of mood problems that most people never connect to their vitamin D levels. After 60, your body not only produces less vitamin D from sunlight, but it also stores it less efficiently, creating a mood-supporting nutrient crisis just when you need it most. Here's the hidden storage problem that catches most seniors off guard. During your younger years, your body could store vitamin D in fat and muscle tissue, creating reserves that lasted through darker months. But after 60, this storage system becomes much less efficient. Your muscle mass naturally decreases, and your fat distribution changes, both reducing your body's ability to maintain vitamin D reserves. What this means for your mood is significant. Vitamin D isn't just for bone health, it's essential for brain function and mood regulation. Your brain has vitamin D receptors that directly influence serotonin production and emotional processing. When vitamin D levels drop, your brain's ability to maintain stable mood decreases dramatically. The timing creates a perfect storm for mood crashes. Your vitamin D levels peak at the end of summer after months of sun exposure. But unlike younger people who might maintain adequate levels through fall, your levels can crash by early to mid-autumn, right when seasonal changes are already challenging your mood stability. Here's what low vitamin D feels like from a mood perspective. Increased feelings of sadness or melancholy, higher sensitivity to stress, difficulty feeling motivated or energetic, and a general sense that everything feels harder than it should. Many people describe it as feeling like they're looking at life through gray-tinted glasses. But vitamin D deficiency also affects sleep quality, which creates additional mood challenges. Poor sleep makes mood regulation even more difficult, creating a downward spiral that can last through the entire winter if not addressed proactively. The conventional approach of waiting until you feel bad and then starting vitamin D supplementation misses the critical window. By the time you notice mood changes, your levels may have been declining for weeks, and it takes 8-12 weeks of consistent supplementation to restore optimal levels. The smarter approach is proactive support starting in early fall, before your natural stores are depleted. This means beginning vitamin D3 supplementation by early September, choosing the right dose for your age and needs, and ensuring proper absorption by taking it with healthy fats. But vitamin D alone isn't enough if the third vulnerability is undermining your mood stability from a different angle. The third vulnerability is one that most people notice but don't understand. Your ability to handle stress becomes more fragile after 60, and seasonal changes that used to barely register now have a significant impact on your emotional well-being. Here's what's happening to your stress response system that you might not realize. Your adrenal glands, which produce stress hormones like cortisol, become less flexible with age. In your younger years, your cortisol levels could spike to handle stress and then return to normal relatively quickly. After 60, this system becomes less responsive and less efficient at returning to baseline. This means that stressors that used to bounce off you now stick around longer in your system. The stress of shorter days, schedule changes, weather concerns, or even minor disruptions to routine can trigger cortisol releases that your body can't clear as efficiently as it used to. Chronic elevated cortisol is like having a mood poison circulating in your system. It directly interferes with serotonin production, disrupts sleep quality, increases anxiety and irritability, and makes everything feel more difficult than it should. You might find yourself overreacting to small problems or feeling overwhelmed by situations you used to handle easily. But here's what makes this particularly challenging during seasonal transitions. Fall and winter naturally present more stressors, concerns about weather, changes in activity levels, holiday pressures, health worries, and the psychological impact of shorter days. Your more fragile stress response system can become chronically activated, leading to persistent mood problems. The signs of an overloaded stress response include feeling wired but tired, difficulty relaxing even when you have free time, sleep problems despite feeling exhausted, increased irritability over small things, and a general sense that you can't quite get comfortable or settled. Traditional stress management advice often doesn't account for the changing physiology of aging. What worked for stress management in your 40s might not be sufficient for your 60s and beyond. You need approaches that specifically support your body's changing ability to process and clear stress hormones. The solution involves both reducing unnecessary stressors and supporting your body's ability to handle unavoidable stress more efficiently. This includes specific nutrients that support healthy cortisol function, breathing techniques that activate your parasympathetic nervous system, and lifestyle adjustments that work with your body's changing needs. Understanding this stress vulnerability helps explain why the fourth vulnerability can be so disruptive to mood stability. The fourth vulnerability affects everything else, but is rarely discussed. Your internal biological clock becomes less precise after 60, and this timing disruption can throw off your entire mood regulation system in ways that seem mysterious but are actually predictable. Here's what's happening to your circadian rhythms that you can't see directly. Your brain's master clock, located in a tiny region called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, naturally becomes less sensitive to light cues and less precise in its timing as you age. This internal clock controls not just when you feel sleepy, but when your body produces mood-regulating hormones, processes stress hormones, and maintains optimal brain chemistry. When your internal clock loses precision, everything else becomes less stable. Your serotonin production peaks at less optimal times. Your cortisol rhythm becomes flattened or shifted. Your sleep quality decreases even if you're getting enough hours. And your mood becomes more variable and less predictable. This timing disruption is particularly noticeable during seasonal transitions when your internal clock needs to adjust to changing light patterns. A younger person's circadian rhythm might adapt to shorter days within a week or two. After 60, this adjustment can take much longer, leaving you feeling off for weeks or even months. The mood consequences of circadian disruption include feeling emotionally unstable for no clear reason, energy that doesn't match your schedule, difficulty feeling alert during the day, or sleepy at appropriate times, and a general sense that your emotional responses are unpredictable or out of proportion. But here's what makes this vulnerability particularly problematic. Circadian disruption affects your ability to benefit from other mood-supporting strategies. Even if you're getting adequate light exposure, proper nutrition, and managing stress well, disrupted circadian rhythms can prevent these interventions from working effectively. The good news is that your circadian rhythm, while less flexible than it used to be, can still be supported and optimized with the right approach. This involves more consistent light exposure timing, stricter sleep schedule adherence, and specific strategies that help reinforce your body's natural rhythms. Understanding circadian vulnerability also explains why some mood support strategies work better for seniors when timed precisely rather than done randomly throughout the day. Your aging brain benefits more from routine and predictability than it used to. The solution isn't just about fixing disrupted rhythms. It's about creating a lifestyle structure that supports your internal clock's need for clear, consistent signals about when to produce mood-supporting chemicals and when to allow for rest and recovery. All four vulnerabilities often work together to create mood challenges that seem overwhelming, but addressing them systematically can restore surprising stability and resilience. Before I give you the specific solutions for each vulnerability, here's something for those of you who've watched this far. One simple change that supports all four mood vulnerabilities simultaneously, and most people completely overlook it. It's creating what I call morning light ritual, a consistent routine of getting bright light exposure within the first hour of waking up every single day, regardless of weather or season. Here's why this one change is so powerful for all four vulnerabilities. Morning light exposure directly stimulates serotonin production in your brain, helping compensate for your aging serotonin system. It supports vitamin D synthesis when sunlight is available and helps your body use vitamin D more effectively when you're supplementing. It naturally regulates cortisol production, helping your stress response system function more efficiently. And most importantly, it provides the strongest signal to your internal clock, helping maintain precise circadian rhythms. The key is consistency and timing. Your aging brain needs stronger, more reliable signals than it used to. A 20-30-minute morning light exposure, whether from sunlight, a light therapy box, or even bright indoor lighting can provide the foundational support that makes all other mood-supporting strategies more effective. This isn't about perfect weather or ideal conditions. It's about giving your brain a daily signal that helps it maintain the chemical balance and timing precision that supports stable mood throughout the day. Now let me show you the specific solutions for each vulnerability that can transform how you feel and function. Now let me give you a complete protocol that addresses all 4 vulnerabilities systematically, creating a foundation for mood stability that works with your body's changing needs after 60. For vulnerability #1, serotonin production, support your brain's happiness factory with strategic nutrition and activities. Include protein-rich foods that provide tryptophan, the building block of serotonin. Foods like turkey, eggs, cheese, and nuts can help, especially when combined with complex carbohydrates that help tryptophan reach your brain. Regular gentle movement, social connection, and gratitude practices naturally boost serotonin production. For vulnerability #2, vitamin D storage, implement proactive supplementation starting in early fall. Most experts recommend 2,000, 4,000 IU of vitamin D 3 daily for people over 60, taken with healthy fats for absorption. Consider pairing with vitamin K2 to optimize function. Get tested to know your baseline and monitor your levels rather than guessing about adequate dosing. For vulnerability #3, stress response, support your fragile stress shield with targeted nutrients and practices. Magnesium glycinate, 200 to 400 milligrams in the evening, helps regulate cortisol and supports sleep quality. Practice deep breathing exercises that activate your parasympathetic nervous system. Create boundaries around stressful inputs like news consumption or difficult conversations, especially during vulnerable times. For vulnerability #4, circadian rhythm, establish non-negotiable timing routines. Maintain consistent sleep and wake times, even on weekends. Get bright light exposure within 1 hour of waking. Dim lights too, 3 hours before bedtime. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Avoid large meals, caffeine, and screens close to bedtime. Your weekly minimum effective dose, 20-30 minutes of morning light exposure daily, consistent sleep timing within 30 minutes each day, 15-20 minutes of stress-reducing activities 3 times per week, and attention to mood-supporting nutrition at each meal. Track your progress by how you feel rather than perfect adherence to protocols. Notice your energy levels throughout the day, your resilience to minor stresses, your sleep quality, and your overall sense of emotional stability. These improvements often appear within 2-3 weeks of consistent implementation. Remember, this isn't about preventing aging. It's about supporting your brain and body's evolving needs so you can maintain the mood stability and emotional resilience that make life enjoyable regardless of your age. The goal is creating a sustainable lifestyle that honors your body's changing requirements while maintaining the emotional well-being that lets you thrive. So there you have it, the 4 hidden vulnerabilities that make your mood more fragile after 60. Your serotonin production naturally slows down. Your vitamin D storage system becomes less efficient. Your stress response becomes more fragile. And your internal clock loses precision. But understanding these vulnerabilities gives you the power to support them proactively instead of just wondering why your mood isn't as stable as it used to be. Start with the morning light ritual this week. It supports all 4 vulnerabilities at once and creates a foundation for everything else to work better. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Have you noticed changes in your mood stability as you've gotten older? Which of these vulnerabilities resonates most with your experience? Share your story. You could help other viewers understand their own patterns and feel less alone in these changes. And if someone's comment helps you understand something important about your own mood patterns, please take a moment to thank them. Building a supportive community makes these wellness journeys so much more manageable. If this video helped you understand your changing mood needs and how to support them, please give it a like and share it with someone who might benefit. Together, we can help more people understand that mood changes after 60 aren't inevitable. They're manageable with the right approach.